Well, pretty shocking, but Georgia has just hired Mike White as their basketball coach of the future. If you don't know who Mike White is, that's understandable. But Mike White is the head coach at Florida, or was until 6 o'clock. Well, about 6:15 Sunday night. So quite a turn in this rivalry. Again, I've got a lot. There's a lot going on here, and you're going to need to stick with me on this one because there's a lot of nuance going on at once here. All right. First of all, uh, in the folks that I know in the basketball world, not a lot of folks coming, and there's a couple of reasons why. I think firstly, if that's one way to put it, um, I don't know if Mike White was super duper happy at Florida. I mean, I'll put it to you that way. And there's a lot of there's a lot of issues right now at Florida. And what I mean by that is they're not on the surface or anything like that, but Florida's not winning like it used to, and you have to wonder if there's something going on, not like a devastating thing, but I think they're just not as serious moving forward as they have been in the past. I mean, you look at their athletic department now. In a matter of 3 months, they've lost their head basketball coach and their head football coach. One they fired and one left. So they are starting over completely. I don't know what that means for Florida, but you can go into a decade-long spin if you don't watch out as an athletic department. That can happen. That's number one. So I think that's my understanding is that Mike White was not always. I mean, that I don't want to overspeak. Okay. Number two, I think coming this past week has been pretty. There's been a lot of movement. Whenever you start talking about the tournament, Florida came into this weekend with a possibility of still getting in the NCAA's. They lost to Texas A&M on whatever Thursday night or something like that. So that probably changed things a little bit. But Mike White's first 4 years at Florida were pretty good. I mean, when you take a look at his time at Florida, the start was pretty good. I'm going to tell you right now. The issue has been these last couple of years where it hasn't taken off kind of the way that you would like for it to. Um, I, I said to someone, I don't know if I put this on the message board or not on over on Dog Post, but that it was kind of time for Mike White in Florida. Like this is either working or it's not. And like the first year, obviously he gets there and kind of things settle down. They go to the NIT, get to the quarterfinals. A season later, Elite Eight, then the round of 32, NCAA's are canceled, which they probably would have gotten in Florida. And then they get to the round of 32 last year. This year they're not. I mean, they're not going to get in. And I'm still watching the credits as they roll for the for the NCAA's, but Florida wasn't going to get in. They were 9-9, 19-13. The question to me is if Mike White can fit at Georgia better than he did at Florida, because there was some residual, Billy Donovan left over. And I hate even doing that because that assumes that Billy Donovan is responsible for everything good at Florida and nothing bad. I mean, you take a look at Mike White's success at Louisiana Tech. They didn't win their league, but they got first place 3 years in a row in their league. And then he steps up to Florida and, he's had multiple 10 plus win seasons. He's also had a lot of 9 win seasons in the league. And the 9 win means you're an 8 or 9 seed. So it's not ideal. If he wants to succeed at Georgia, Mike White needs to get into Atlanta now. Period. Now, a lot of these idiots that write and talk about Georgia basketball or whatever, yeah, they say that. We're talking about there are people to talk to, not just this, statement. Hey, you got to get into Atlanta. Yeah, everybody knows that, but who do you need to talk to? Who are the Wallace Prathers of today, for lack of a better term? That's who you got to deal with, and no, hey, these guys are exceptional players. that we need them. They're 15 years old right now. Okay, let's start the relationship with them now. Or they're 14. I mean, this is what basketball is. People turn their nose up at it. You can see when a guy is young if he's going to be special or not. There's so much basketball played. I I think this can work. I also think this could just be. I also think it could be just mediocre. I mean, I think the reality is we just don't know. And anybody is saying for certain that this will work, I just think they're telling themselves something that they're not necessarily telling the truth. We don't know if this is going to work. I mean, if you had the first 4 years of Florida at Georgia, where you're going, 21 and 15, 27 and 9, 21 and 13, 20 and 16. I mean, I would even, 19 and 12, there's nothing at the end of the world with that. And now a season ago, to be fair, you just didn't have as many games. So getting to 20 wins a season ago with fewer games, you instead of playing 36, 38 games, you were playing 25. So it was a different ball game. Even if you went to the tournament, you were playing 25. So getting a 21 season last year, that's kind of tricky to talk about. But um, I, Mike White has an opportunity now that was running out of steam at Florida. It was time. I mean, it wasn't working anymore. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe it was Mike White. Maybe it was Florida. I'm telling you, it's not great down there right now, and it's not just me. I don't say that about everywhere. I mean, but there's something different right now at Florida than there has been in the past. But if Mike White wants to succeed at Georgia, there's a formula. There's a way to do it, and it's not just hard work and going to Atlanta. There's a way to do this. And he's going to have to become the face of the program in a way that Mark Fox was never comfortable with, in a way that Tom Crean did really well. And then he's going to have to turn it into results. Now, those are basics, but you can do it. And um, I think for Georgia, it's hard to know if this is the right hire. I knew whoever they were going to hire, it'd be hard for me to get up here and say, hey, they made the right hire. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. I'm not certain this is the wrong hire. I just don't know if Mike White can lead Georgia to the national championship. Now, I've talked about that a lot. Georgia should win the national championship in basketball in the next 15 years. If that's not happened, something's happened wrong. Is Mike White a person that's getting you more towards that? He's getting you more towards that for sure. More than Mark Fox, more than Tom Crean, more than Dennis Felton. I mean, he's gotten teams to an Elite Eight. I mean, and Tom Crean got him to a Final Four, but it didn't work, right? It just didn't work at Georgia. So there are guys that he's going to have to go out and get. There are relationships that are going to have to be built. Like right now, he should be on the phone with the Stars, the Celtics. I mean, just the groups that are in Atlanta because that's where you rob banks because that's where the money is. It's not exclusively Atlanta. There's a lot of guys that play very high level basketball on the coast in Savannah, Augusta, Albany, or Albany as they call it, Middle Georgia. Macon is okay, but there are plenty of guys all around the state. And now you've spent the last, however many years in Florida. You shouldn't turn your back on those relationships either. There's plenty of kids, 25 million, 15 million people in Florida, whatever it is. So you go down there and you attack the areas that you can attack: Miami, Jacksonville, Tampa. What's called the Gator Triangle areas down there. But I don't know that people want an immediate reaction from me when stuff happens. I get that. I don't know with this. I think it can work, but I'm very much Eliza Doolittle. I mean, you've got to show me. Don't talk about it. Don't, we'll just see. I mean, don't talk about how this can be great. Do it. And that's where I'm at with things. Everybody, coming into this thing, I don't think that Mike White was really on the radar. I do think, how do you put this? I do think that I do think that it's not surprising to me, I should say, that Mike White. It's not shocking that Mike White wound up at Georgia, but um, it did take a second or two to get there, and it's all added up since the turn of the year into getting to 2022 and 2021. A year ago, I couldn't see Mike White at Georgia, but knowing some of the stuff I know now, yeah, maybe. But there's a lot that's changed. Can he have success? I don't know. Can you get DAWGSTRUCTION? Yeah, it's right down below. Make sure you're picking it up. This is about having the basketball equivalent to DAWGSTRUCTION for Mike White in Georgia. He's going to have to get the roster right. That's going to take a season and a half, maybe a season, but you can do a lot right now with the transfer portal and with just signing guys in signing period, which is coming up soon. So I don't think that it kind of this move kind of leaves you speechless. I mean, I can't remember the last time an in conference coaching change happen like this? Could you imagine if Lane Kiffin gone to LSU? I mean, Nick Saban going to Alabama, but he went to he went to how about Texas A&M getting left out of the tournament? I mean, I don't mean this bad towards Texas A&M, but Jimmy Dykes, all of your hot air this week didn't amount to shit, did it? They had to win the tournament, and they didn't. And that's the thing now. For if you're Georgia, you don't want to get into any more situations. You don't need any more Mark Fox situations where you had a pretty good regular season, but you gotta win the tournament. No, 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 no. You need to build your resume in November and December, get your 10 win, whatever, like that conference season, and get into Nashville to play for your seeding. That's what Mike White's got to do is build from scratch and keep it rolling. Is this going to work? And you know what, y'all? I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I don't think it's a certain failure, but I don't know if this is going to work. And I don't, it's a curious hire from Josh Brooks for sure. Hey, thanks for watching. Pick up DAWGSTRUCTION down below. We'll see you on the website.